What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Hobo back again with more NFL predictions. This time, we kick off Week 7 tonight, Thursday, October 17th, at Empower Field at Mile High. It is the Kansas City Chiefs at 4-2, visiting the Denver Broncos at 2-4. The Chiefs have won 7 consecutive games against these Broncos. And I know the Broncos are, they're fighting, they're resilient, they're playing pretty decent football over these past couple of weeks. But, I know the Chiefs are on a slide, and this really is a get-right game for them. They need a big-time effort tonight in order to right their ship and kind of fix their season. I know they're still 4-2, and they are 2 games ahead of, the next in the division. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the AFC West for a minute. But they are first, they're leading, they're surging, but they're on a skid, and they're going to need to right their ship. And I feel like they're going to get a big win tonight against a subpar defense. Joe Flacco and the offense are going to struggle against the Chiefs defense that has given up a tremendous amount of yards and points over the past 2 weeks. But I'm still going to take the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill light up the Denver Broncos the way they began to last week. So I'm going with the Chiefs. Next up, it is Sunday, October 20th at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, where we have the 3-3 Rams and the 1-5 Falcons. So the only thing pretty about this game will be the stadium it's contested in. These two teams are not very good. The Rams are 3-3, but those 3 losses are ugly, and they have a lot of problems. Offensively, they can't run the football. Jared Goff isn't playing good football at all by any stretch of the word. He's struggling mightily. They can't run the ball, they can't throw the ball, they can't stop anybody, but they traded for Jalen Ramsey, which is big for them. However, they then traded Marcus Peters to the Ravens in place to keep Talib on IR. So you gain 1, you lose 2. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, but it's going to be interesting to see Jalen Ramsey go up against Julio Jones all day on Sunday. That should be a fun matchup. But the Falcons, they can't do anything right, it seems. Their 1 win came against a really banged-up Eagles team. They're going to struggle in this game, and I think the Rams are going to get a win. So next up, we have at New Era Field in Orchard Park, New York, the 0-5 Dolphins taking on the 4-1 Bills. So I really like the Bills in this matchup. The Dolphins are just skidding and sliding, and they had an opportunity to get their first win of the season last week, on the last play of the game, but they botched a 2-point conversion, and they literally gifted the what are they called? The Washington Redskins their first win of the year. So yeah, the Dolphins can't seem to do anything right, and even when they have victory, they still are able to snatch defeat from the jaws of it. So pretty terrible effort over 5 weeks for the Dolphins, and they're probably going to continue to lose. And I feel like the Bills, who have won 6 of their last 7 home games versus the Dolphins, are going to extend that streak to 7 of the last 8 at home against Miami. So I'm taking the Bills. Josh Allen's going to have a big day. And I know they're minus Zay Jones now. They traded him away to Oakland. But I still like Buffalo in this matchup. Their ability to run the football and throw the football just supersedes anything Miami's able to do on either side of the football. So I'm taking the Bills. Next up, Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the 2-4 Jags and the 0-6 Bengals. A lot of offers this deep into the season. That's something you usually don't see, and that's pretty strange about this NFL season. But the Jags, they're 2-4, and Gardner Minshew's kind of, he's the cult favorite, but he hasn't really been playing great football. And then the Bengals, they are like the Dolphins. They just cannot seem to do anything right, anything meaningful, and it's not necessarily their fault. I don't really know who to blame it on. Andy Dalton's, been throwing the ball well, but like the Sunday night game against the Steelers, they couldn't do a gosh darn thing right, and they just, I don't know what it's going to take for them to right their course and start winning football games. They have the opportunity to be along with the Dolphins and try to go over and shoot for that number 1 pick. And I feel like if either one of those teams gets the number 1 pick, they're picking a quarterback. But in Jacksonville, the defense is still playing pretty good football, all things considered. I mean, they ran into Christian. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. And they ran into Christian McCaffrey, and he just ran all over them. And then Christian McCaffrey pretty much got shut down by Tampa Bay last week. So I don't really know if it's just the Jags defense just had an off day or what have you, but excuse me, I apologize. It's only casual 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm extremely exhausted from my long day of being awake since 1 o'clock. Yeah, the Bengals can't do anything right. The Jaguars, their defense needs to bolster up, prevent Andy Dalton from throwing the deep ball. And the Jags are without Jalen Ramsey now, as I mentioned earlier. So they're a defense that's going to be in a little bit of flux without their best player. And it's going to take a Herculean effort, I feel, from Cincinnati to try to get a win. And all Gardner Minshew has to do is just play sound, efficient football, and they've got a great opportunity to win. And I'm taking Jacksonville in this game. Next up, Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan. It's the 4-2 Vikings against the 2-1 Lions. So the Vikings are 0-2 versus their division so far this year, and the Detroit Lions are a horrible officiating in the fourth quarter and 1 possession away from being 4-0-1. And that's pretty crazy to me when you think about it. Obviously on Monday, everybody's going to say they got screwed. They got screwed. The refs screwed them out of that game against Green Bay. And yeah, I, to a degree, have to agree, because the 2 illegal hands to the face penalties on Trey Flowers they didn't happen. And it sucks because Trey Flowers in his career has never been flagged for illegal use of the hands. And they dinged him twice in the fourth quarter of that game. And I mean, obviously the case is to be made. They got screwed over. But then my obvious rebuttal to that is, well, you have to roll with it, and then on the next play, make a play and rectify the mistake. But the Vikings, however, they've had some sort of an offensive resurgence ever since they met the New York Giants, and then they met Philadelphia, and they've won 2 straight. But those are 2 bad secondaries, so I don't know what that tells you really about Minnesota so far. Other than that, they'd be 2-0, or 2-2, prior to the bad defenses they faced, and now they're at 4-2, second in the division. They've met the Lions, who would have been first if it wasn't for Monday night, and now the Lions are last. They get the chance to play spoiler and start moving things around in the NFC North. I like the Lions in this game. Matt Stafford, that offense, they were pretty efficient last week against Green Bay's pretty elite defense, I would say, so far. And, just 1 or 2 calls go the other way, and Detroit's at 3-2-1, and they're only a game out from the Vikings. But now they have a chance to take a firm grip, on their own future, because if they get this big win and they have the tiebreaker, then down the season they might end up being second or even potentially first in the NFC North. I like the Lions. I just think the Vikings, they're too inconsistent for my taste. I'd like to see them play better football more consistently against better teams. So I like the Lions in this game. Next up at Lambeau Field, we have the 3-2 Oakland Raiders versus the 5-1 Green Bay Packers. The Packers have 7 straight wins against the Raiders. That's crazy. And the Raiders, they have found the ability to run the football that just simply hasn't been there for Derek Carr in years past. And it comes from the greatness of Josh Jacobs. That fullback they have is a monster. He takes on everybody. He's been battling Von Miller and Khalil Mack and chipping and blocking and doing wonderful things, going over the top of the pile to plow the way for Josh Jacobs to get in. I mean, he's been that running game in Oakland has been lights out. And the Packers defense, you know, they're going to need to find an answer for Josh Jacobs. But then conversely, the Raiders defense has to find an answer for Aaron Rodgers, who came alive in the second half last week against Detroit. So I like the Packers in this game. You know, they're 5-1 for a reason. That defense is playing really good football, and the offense is playing well when it needs to. So I like Green Bay in this game. Sorry, Raiders, you're going to drop to 500, 3-3 on the season for you. Go Pack, go. Next, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indy. It's the 4-2 Texans against the 3-2 Colts. This is a battle for first place. Winner, sole possession of the division. As I force Le'Veon Bell to fumble. Great. The Texans are coming off a monster win that I personally, even as a closet Texans fan, I personally didn't see them getting against Kansas City. They came out early, got punched in the mouth, but they responded, and they took a commanding approach to the rest of the game. They were marching. The Kansas City defense couldn't get off the field, and Deshaun Watson continued his brilliance, and now they're 4-2. And the Colts, they're 3-2. They've been playing some pretty good football. They've beaten Kansas City. So these two teams now go up against each other, having slayed the biggest giant in the American Football Conference, it seems. And they're surging, and they're playing good football, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really, really fun matchup to watch Deshaun Watson and Jacoby Brissett go head-to-head. I'm really excited. I'm intrigued about this game, but I've obviously got the Texans. They're my favorite in this game, and I'm probably going to be wearing my Deshaun Watson jersey. Actually, it won't be, because of the next game, I'm going to be wearing a jersey for that team, and you'll see when I get there. But the Texans, they're my pick in this game. I just like them a little bit more over the Colts. Division game, going to be really close. But I just have a feeling the Texans are going to win. Next up, East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Arizona Cardinals at 2-3-1, taking on my New York Giants at 2-4. So it's a battle of the first two quarterbacks taken in the 2019 NFL draft, whatever the hell year draft this is. Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones. Kyler Murray just got his first and second career wins over the past couple of weeks, and he's done them in pretty fun fashion. I believe we had a game-winning field goal, and then just a beat down or something like that over. They beat up on the Falcons, and then they got that last-second win over the Bengals. So they're 2-3-1. You know, when you look at it, the Cardinals haven't been playing terrible. It's just the inexperience of the team and how young they are. But obviously they're getting better, and it shows. The more Kyler Murray is in this offense, the better it looks. And I can say not the same about the New York Giants, who have just battled injury after injury after injury after injury, and they're so banged up, and they're so, just all over the place. And poor Daniel Jones hasn't had his regular starting crew to work with since he took over in Week 3. But I think this week his team is going to be as healthy as it has been. He's going to have Evan Ingram back, hopefully, Saquon Barkley, hopefully, Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, and the defense is starting, to gel, play better football. They already have more sacks than they did last year through 8 weeks or something like that. The Giants defense isn't playing terrible. They're playing a lot better than I envisioned they would. They had the big interception of Tom Brady. Janoris Jenkins did. They had a fumble return for a touchdown on Thursday night. So they look good even against the best team in the AFC. I'm sure they got spanked, but a lot of those points came in garbage time. And, the Patriots just like to rub it in whenever they play the Giants because they're still salty about 42-46. Anywho, the Giants, they're going to need a turnover-free performance from Daniel Jones to win this game because Arizona has a good team. They don't look it record-wise, but when you watch them play, they play up to their opponent, it seems. But then for whatever reason, they just don't end up getting wins. You know, maybe it be the inexperience of Kyler Murray or, you know, the inexperience of Cliff Kingsbury or whatever it may be. But the Cardinals are getting better. They're pretty much in the exact same position the Giants are. Young quarterback, a team that they can build off of, pretty solid foundation, you know, and they just got a lot to look forward to, as do the New York Giants. But I'm going to pick the Giants in this game for pretty obvious reasons. Saquon Barkley's back, that's the reason. No, it's because I'm a damn Giants fan, and I'm sick and tired of losing all the time, and I want to beat a team that we should beat. And I feel the Cardinals are a team we should beat. So I like the Giants in this game. And I have a prediction. It will go either one of these two ways, and neither of those two ways would be unacceptable. Wait, what did I want to say? It would go either one of these ways, and it will not go any other way other than these two ways that I'm going to tell you. This is how this game is going to go. Daniel Jones or Kyler Murray will throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. It will be either Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones accomplishing that feat, not the other way around where both of them do it, not the other way where neither of them do it. It will be one or the other. That is my stout prediction, and whoever manages to throw for the 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, they will win. And in my opinion, that will be Daniel Jones. So, let's go Giants. Next up, FedEx Field, Landover, Maryland. The 5-0 49ers versus the 1-5 Washington Redskins. So the 49ers, they are 4-1 versus the Redskins since 2008. And when you look at it, this is a trap game for the 49ers. They're playing a bad Redskins team who just got their first win over a bad Miami Dolphins team. And, you know, San Francisco just got a really big win against the LA Chargers, or the LA Rams, rather. And they're playing good football, and Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have to do very much, and his team's still winning, and his defense is playing like dogs, and they're annihilating people, and it's fun to be a 49ers fan right now. And then when you're a Redskins fan, you look at your team, and you're like, oh my God, we are 0-5, and then you go into Miami, and you get a 1-point win because the Dolphins are stupid and they dropped a 2-point conversion. That's rough. That's rough. The quarterback problem has not gotten any better in Washington. You know, they're still struggling to find out who they want to be their guy. It doesn't even appear to me that Dwayne Haskins is on their docket. For some reason, I feel like they picked him, but they don't want him to play. And I've heard the whole Dwayne Haskins isn't ready. Dwayne Haskins isn't ready. Dwayne Haskins isn't ready. But you watch all these other rookie quarterbacks who have come in and had success, like Kyle Allen and Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray. Why is Dwayne Haskins not ready? Why can't he take over for this football team? It almost appeared on his first drive when he came in against the Giants that the team kind of rallied around him. Obviously, the Giants were just, you know, playing a great game that day, and they turned over Dwayne Haskins 3 times. So, you know, you take everything I say with a grain of salt in that respect, but I still feel like they should try to give it to Dwayne, let him run the offense. You know, he needs some experience. You need to give him that. You're a 1-5 team. Your shot at the playoffs is so minute at this point, and especially if you lose right now on Sunday to San Francisco, you're pretty much done. Your season's pretty much over. 1-6, you're going to have to win every single game for the rest of the year to have a shot. And that's not going to happen for these Redskins. So I like the 49ers. I like Jimmy Garoppolo. I like George Kittle. And I like that nasty front four they have on defense. I'm going with the 49ers. Next up, we're playing at Nissan Stadium. It's the Chargers at 2-4 and the Titans at 2-4. Marcus Mariota just got benched for Ryan Tannehill. Mariota's career is pretty much done as a starting quarterback, it seems. And the Chargers have won 11 of their last 12 games versus the Tennessee Titans, including the playoffs. So, Titans, WYD, what are you doing? How are you going to win this game? It's going to come by defensive excellence. And you're going to need a performance like you had on the opening day when you played Cleveland. You're going to need to completely shut Phillip Rivers down, shut down Melvin Gordon, shut down Keenan Allen, and you'll have a chance to win. Now, for LA, they need to play their best football of the entire year. And you never know. I mean, it's possible that can't happen. So, I don't know. Just given what I've seen of them this year, they've not looked good. They've played a really bad Steelers team, and they got destroyed. So, I don't know. I like Tennessee in this matchup the more I think about it. I was originally going to go with the Chargers, but now I'm going to pick the Titans. And I'm going to pick Ryan Tannehill. And everybody's going to eat their words about the former wide receiver playing quarterback. It's Ryan Tannehill's show, and it's the Tennessee Titans getting a win on Sunday. Next, Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois. It's the 5-1 Saints at the 3-2 Bears. So Teddy Bridgewater has won 7 of his last 8 road starts, and he is undefeated since starting as the Saints' starting quarterback. And the Saints are playing great football. The Bears just look lost. They look absolutely lost. Their defense isn't what it was a year ago. They seem to be struggling mightily, even with Khalil Mack and Eddie Jackson. And, they lost Adrian Amos, and that's a big hit to that secondary. But, you look on the other side of the ball, and their offense can't do a damn thing either. They're struggling to put points on the board, and it's really, really not looking good for the Bears. And if you're a Bears fan, I'm sorry, but I don't see playoffs in your future. This year the double doink rippled through this team like the Titanic sinking rippled through the waters of the Atlantic Ocean. And I go back and I think about the game they played on Monday night, the Bears did, against Washington, and I think they scored like 28 or something like that, but only one of those or like 2 of their offensive touchdowns came from the red zone off turnover. That's not good. You can't win football games like that. You need to have long drives. You need to have your offense put together plays, make plays, and score points. And the Saints can do that. And Teddy Bridgewater has proven himself to be able to move this team down the field, generate offense, and make plays when he needs to. I don't see that out of Chicago, and I like the Saints, so they're my pick. Next up, CenturyLink Field, Seattle, Washington. It's the 4-2 Ravens at the 5-1 Seahawks. So the Ravens just got Marcus Peters, but the Seahawks are playing great football. Earl Thomas is back in Seattle for the first time since signing with the Ravens in the offseason. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I kind of want to see Earl Thomas pick off our boy Russell Wilson, but then at the same time I want Russell Wilson to continue his excellence. And on an unrelated note, I think that's what's going to happen. I think Russell Wilson is going to continue his excellence thus far through this season, and he's going to knock off the Baltimore Ravens. So the Seahawks, they are my pick. AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. It's Sunday Night Football. The Philadelphia Eagles at 3-3 and the Dallas Cowboys at 3-3. The Cowboys have had 19 home wins since 2016. I can tell you right now the Giants have given them a loss there in 2016, which is when this home win streak thing started. That was unrelated. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So, both these teams, they suck. Giants are clearly the best team in the NFC East. That goes without saying. The Eagles and the Cowboys, they're both really bad. No, but on a more analytical note, Eagles secondary does not look good. Cowboys passing offense, it's pretty good, but it's really fallen off over the past 2 weeks versus a pretty good Green Bay Packers defense, and then a Jets team which at the time was 0-for. And they gave up a loss, in the first win of the Jets season. They gave them that. And the Cowboys, they're struggling. They've dropped 3 in a row. They don't look good. And they're playing a division opponent that's really hungry and that's really capable and that has beaten a couple good teams. But they're coming off a pretty big loss to Minnesota. So both these teams are on a skid right now. It's a big game. And normally in games like this, I'd take the home team for home field advantage. But the Eagles just have a knack for going into their division rival's house and obliterating them. I don't think there's going to be an obliteration in this game, but I think the Eagles are going to get the win over Dallas in Dallas. Maybe shut those fans up for once, hopefully. Maybe get all those stupid idiots wearing number 4 jerseys to shut their mouths for once. But then I have to see the 11 jersey, so I don't know what I want. I don't know. Nothing makes me happy when I'm in the NFC East. I hate this division so much. I'm going to pick the Eagles in this game. Eagles over Cowboys. Monday, October 21st. I'm going to be at this game. Indeed I am. The game you're watching right now, in real life, I'm going to be there. That'll be my second Monday Night Football game of the year, my second Jets game of the year. But if you notice a recurring theme, I don't go to Jets games to watch the Jets. I go to Jets games because they're close and they play teams that I want to see. So earlier I got to see the Cleveland Browns get a win on Monday Night Football in Week 2, which was awesome. And now I get to see Tom Brady, something I've never done. And I'm pretty much on my revenge tour this year, or my bucket list tour this year, trying to see the teams and the players that I haven't seen that I would love to see. And Tom Brady is one of those players that, I had this opportunity because my brother's a Patriots fan. So we floated the idea back and forth of whether we wanted to go to this game or go to Foxborough or what we wanted to do. Go to the game this past week, the Giants and the Patriots. I said no because I didn't want to see the Giants get spanked and then have to listen to it all night. So now we're going to go to this game mutually. I have a Tom Brady jersey. I'm going to be wearing it to MetLife Stadium on Monday night. So is my brother. He's going to be wearing his Tom Brady jersey to MetLife Stadium on Monday night. And we're going to have a blast because the New York Jets are going to get smoked by the best defense in football. It's the New England Patriots. They're going to get a big win, continue their winning streak there, 6-0. They will be 7-0 come the conclusion of this game on Monday night. The Jets will be 1-5, but they've got a lot to look forward to. Their offense came alive last week under Sam Darnold, and you never know. Obviously, my pick is the Patriots, but the Jets could pull out a shocker. I'd say if you're a Patriots fan, don't count this thing as an absolute. The Jets have a great chance to make a bid for underdog of the year and win and shock the world. So I've got the Patriots, but the Jets. Don't count yourselves out of this game. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The teams on bye this week are the Steelers, the Browns, the Panthers, and the Buccaneers. We won't get to see them until next week, thank God. Those are, frankly, 4 teams that I really don't care about. Other than Cleveland, I kind of care about them. But that does it. That does it for week number 7. I hope you guys enjoy some football tonight. I hope you guys enjoy football over the weekend and into Monday. Please, always treat your fellow fan responsibly. Nobody wants to get into a situation like I was a couple Monday nights ago, or I almost got beat up by a Jets fan. So I hope you guys enjoy football. Please make sure to hit a like on this video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about the games this week. And hit that subscribe button because it's the #1 way to show your support to the channel. It's going to do it for me, your boy Hobo. I'll catch you guys next week for Week 8 predictions.